And after a long-awaited break, we have returned. Welcome back to Dilem-Monday, everybody. It has been not just, I guess, a crazy week, crazy couple of weeks. It's been a crazy month or so. But we are here, and we're here to enjoy it. We've got some wonderful people on the show, coming on the show tonight. Plenty to talk about. So I think, you know what? Let's just jump in. Let me share this over to my father's profile.
You don't have to. I got it on there. The only thing I haven't.
I'm proud of you.
I'm trying to invite people, but I guess I can just
inviting people. I'm antisocial.
All right. Well, yeah, okay. I got it. I'm
look at you. Oh my God, I'm so proud. We've only been doing this for 5 years.
Well, you know, it's first you don't succeed. Try. Keep
absolutely. Trying. So yeah. No. Well, welcome back. I guess this is the third season of Dilem-Monday, kind of. There was the first season was really like a 2.5 year process of just continuing, and then it stopped dead for a while. And then enough people asked us about why is Dilem-Monday not happening. So we're like, I guess we've got to bring it back, you know, give the people what they want, I guess. But
popular demand, man.
Absolutely. And speaking of a man who knows about popular demand and phenomenal products and phenomenal things, when we talk and who we saw at the NAMM show, Marnie, welcome to Dilem-Monday.
What's up? I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hell yeah, thank you. I know it was like a shortish notice, but yeah, we're like, who were we at the NAMM show with? And I'm like, Marnie's sick. Let's get him on tonight.
Yeah, I've done a few NAMM shows in my time.
It's like, you know, Disneyland's down the street, but that is Disneyland. Yeah, that is musician Disneyland. That is
for sure. Yeah, mm-hmm.
It's for extremely immature musician adults. That is your Disneyland. that is great. Dave, you should go with us next year. Even as a comedian, you will have a freaking blast.
I actually would love to do that. I really hope to be employed again by then, because I can't make it until then. But just the pictures, the stories you've told me about prior years, I'm definitely on board. Even if I'm an extra wheel, I'll find things to do.
Listen,
there's never a dull moment. I mean, it's you know. So I guess Corey, you and I have been going for about 8 years now.
Yeah,
the last 8 NAMMs there have been. We've been going. I guess it was 1 year that there was no NAMM, but we went even in the pandemic year, you know, when they had their sort of kind of thing. And I would say this is the first time this year that really everything was not even almost, it was back to normal. I mean, what do you think, Marty? You've been to a few of these.
Yeah. So actually the last NAMM I went to was the 2021. So
I almost died at that one. I recall that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think, yeah. And actually, so there's that NAMM show. And then right after that, I did I went to a bachelor party in Vegas, like directly after that NAMM show. So it was like, and then, yeah, I got sick after, might have been COVID. You never know, you know, and it was just, and because no one knew at the time. Right. But
right.
Yeah, that was insane.
Well, everybody was calling it the NAMM pandemic, kind of being funny, not realizing, even though we knew that there was stuff going on,
mm-hmm.
we didn't know just how terribly sick.
That was crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'll never forget because we went away. Corey and I had like 10 or 12 days of travel because first we flew into Orlando. We had a meeting, a Balfour conference meeting for our company there, and it was at Amelia Island, which was magnificent. Highly recommend Amelia Island, magnificent place. Anytime you want to go, the Omni there was gorgeous. But then my daughter and my wife flew into Orlando, and we went to Disney World first after the conference. So we're around a few thousand people at our conference. Then we go to Disney World. We did eat at the China exhibition, so that probably could have started the possibility there. But there was a lot of other stuff going on, and there's a lot of people at Disney World. Then we went from there to LAX, which certainly opened us up to many other whatevers in the COVID streak. Then we go to NAMM, where there was like 200,000 or 300,000 people. And where do we choose to eat? Because we're stupid. Right next to the downstairs part where the Wuhan Symbol Company was. Because who paid attention to the news at all?
Well, it was still like a whisper. It was kind of funny. Like pandemic.
Well, all I know is sometime between then and the next morning, I became deathly ill, and I'm not even kidding. Like I couldn't walk. Like it was just pain. I thought I was having a heart attack. I stopped going to the. I was like, I got to go back to the room because I can't walk. And I tried to go to Disney the next day because I prepaid for the tickets, and I'm like, I am not giving up my Disneyland tickets.
And you made it in. You did get inside.
I did get in.
Went on the submarine voyage.
I went on the submarine voyage because I got to sit there, and now I have to walk. Literally, I said, "You guys go back, do what you got to do." I thought I was literally having a heart attack and dying. Like I'm not kidding. I have never been that sick in my life. And my wife.
Which is also weird that you sent us away while you thought you were dying. Go to Disneyland. Come back just so you could come back to the room and be horrified at my corpse just laying there.
And here's where your mother's like a good person or crazy. She slept with me that night, like in the same bed, and she just wants to share. Yeah. Because within 24 hours, she too had the worst sickness she's ever felt in her life.
That's marriage, right?
Then we were so kind to fly home on that plane and probably get every single person. If there was a spreader for Connecticut, Lisa and I certainly brought it home with us. And I didn't go to the doctor because, again, I'm not very bright. I don't go to the doctor. I don't take medicine. I tried to heal, but I probably saved my life because they would have put me on a ventilator and kill me. So I didn't do that. And Lisa did go. And, of course, the doctors had no idea what it was. And they said, oh, you don't have pneumonia, which they were right. And she didn't have the flu. So they thought to give her steroids would be a good idea, which is the absolute worst thing you could do for COVID. So they tried to kill my wife, but it's okay.
But yeah,
we survived.
With all of that in mind, we did survive. Let's talk about the NAMM we just survived.
Yes.
I mean, I heard a lot about how.
Wait, what do you say, Dave?
Sorry, I got so lost in that story. I thought that was the one you just came back.
No, we have all good stories about this.
This one's great.
Yeah. So going back to it feeling the same, I mean, it did feel like the last NAMM show that I had gone to, which was that 2021, it really didn't feel different. I remember I went to the the 2016 or I'm sorry, the 2020 summer show they did like Weird Half show that was kind of a ghost town. Yeah. Then in Nashville. But yeah, I heard it and it kind of has kind of slowly returned back. So it felt like a NAMM show to me when I was there, just everything about it, So I had a great time.
No, we did too, because what started happening, during the pandemic, Fender, Gibson, PRS, they all stopped coming. And you had a lot more small companies, and then Yamaha decided to just take the whole thing over. Everything became Yamaha. you know, Rickenbacker showed up. Like they had some other companies who don't normally show up because probably it was cheaper to get this, that, and the other thing. But this one was crazy. There were hundreds of thousands of people there, and everybody was in everybody. And so, Dave, all of a sudden you could be walking around, and 2 seconds later, and I think Marty, didn't Stevie Wonder visit you guys?
Stevie Wonder did not make it past. Like, I didn't see him while I was there.
He didn't see you either, but that's a whole other story.
maybe on the Saturday I did leave a day early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
he was wandering. He was everywhere. I saw him at the
Stevie Wonder at the NAMM show. He has like an entourage of people. It's as though he floats. His feet never touch the ground.
Stevie Wonder. Imagine someone of such legendary status would always have an entourage and would carry himself.
It's like Moses. It just splits.
That's incredibly accurate. Yeah, I've seen him at NAMM shows past, and yeah, that's definitely how he rolls. I remember at my booth this year. By the way, I work for anyone watching. I guess I work for Lag Guitars, Ashdown Amps, and Quick Lock Stands, Kernum Effects. But I saw a guy with hanging out at the front of our booth wearing like a 313 Detroit shirt. And that's where I'm from. I'm from Metro Detroit, Michigan. So I was like, "Oh, Detroit, man, cool." And he was like, "Yeah, that guy in the corner over there playing one of your guitars is from Detroit too." And I look over, and it's Ray Parker Jr.
He's always there. I saw him,
and I was like, "Oh, sick!" So that was cool. But yeah, I mean, people just kind of show up, or like they'll just like pop out of nowhere, and it's like, "Oh, this guy's been here for like the last couple minutes. Sick,"
There we go. We're representing. Well, it's funny. So our friend Karen was with us. Karen Bello, who's been on the show a number of times, and Karen's a great singer, songwriter out of Long Island. And she was supposed to perform. She got a gig at the Monster booth. So as she's ready to perform, Stevie Wonder shows up with the entourage and this other girl who he says he wants to play. So Karen got bumped, and Karen's, "Can you believe they bumped me?" I was like,
"Yes, I love you, Karen."
I mean,
I know that happens to comedians for sure. If like Chris Rock shows up at the club, nobody else is taking it. I didn't know it happened to musicians too, but it makes sense.
What you got? Yeah, it just happens,
And it's cool because like I was coming over to the booth, and she just sent me a thing that she got bumped. And then I find out, well, Stevie Wonder bumped it. It's not like, I wouldn't take that one as an insult, right?
Yeah, right.
It's little Stevie. It's Stevie Wonder. So, that was pretty cool. I'll tell you one thing. Here we are. We got there early. We came in on Tuesday. We did do Disneyland, on Wednesday, Corey?
Oh, we did.
Which is cool. But I swear I only saw half the stuff, and I was there every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
At opening, every day.
Yeah, and I stayed till like the last minute. Saturday, I didn't stay till the end. But by the way, I don't know what the hell. Their floors are just not padded. I have never.
Other than Martin.
I had so many blisters on my feet from walking the miles that you walk. It's just crazy there. And it's just endless sound. Like if you have some kind of epilepsy or something, you should not go to NAMM.
It really took me, because it has been like 5 years since my last NAMM show, and I remember when the doors opened. So I actually flew in Sunday evening, and so I've been helping like build our booth since Monday.
Sure.
But like when Thursday opened, and everyone started coming in, it took me a second to be like, "Oh yeah, okay, we're back at the NAMM show." There's going to be like this the whole time, and
how does anybody who's near like the drums, how do you survive those 3 days?
I have no idea, honestly. I don't know how those guys are doing it. I don't know how they're getting, how they're having even a single conversation over there. Because I've walked, I walk through there every year. I got some friends that work for cymbal companies and everything, so I try and say hello, and it's like, it's nuts over there,
Yeah, it's great. So Dave, there's like all these different sections, right? Within this gigantic convention center, and but one of these sections is all drums and cymbals. And picture you have a bunch of, hundreds of thousands of ADD drummer degenerates on these things, just banging the crap out of these drums. And none of them give a shit that there's like 60 other companies right next to them that can hear.
So these companies they're there to sell instruments?
They're there to
at least supposedly.
So like Marnie's company, I'm going to go over all his products in a few. His company has a booth, and they're looking for dealers.
Okay.
Their main purpose there is to see their current dealers, their distributors, and that's who they're there to speak to. Now, they also, because there's probably 50,000 just artists, they want to show their product too and say, hey, this is why the Ashdown bass is so much better than anybody else's for the price, Ashdown bass amps are phenomenal. That's Marnie and his whole team, that's what they're doing. And every one of these booths are there to obviously, if you don't have Sweetwater with you and you see Mr. Gallagher walking by,
Mitch Gallagher here from Sweetwater.
Yeah, you want to grab Mitch Gallagher and say, please, sir, please, I need you more than anything.
Who, by the way, he is the nicest guy. Like,
he is.
Oh my God.
I had gone the one day, I guess Lisa and I must have left a little bit earlier than Corey, or we're in a different place. And he's like, I just saw your favorite person, the guy that you watch every single day. And he sends me over that he met Mitch Gallagher. I'm like, dude, the Sweetwater video guy. That's the coolest thing ever. The next day, though, I'm hanging in the microphone section in the other section, the audio areas. And we were going by Telefunken, and right over there he is, Mitch Gallagher. So I usually don't walk over to anybody because I think it's rude to like bother somebody. But I was like, all right, I just got to tell you, Mitch, I watch your videos every single day. And I think you talked to my son, Corey, yesterday, and he told you that his father, he goes, I remember Corey. Absolutely. I still do. So we got to see the Mitch Gallagher, but to put it in perspective, Dave, that's landing. If you're a stockbroker, you just landed the biggest whale that you could possibly get. Like it's the Mecca. If Sweetwater sells your product, you have a company, right? I mean, is that pretty much it, Marnie?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely one of the big ones for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and also, like Mitch just has such an iconic look too, Yeah. Like you see him, like I remember I was like having lunch at I think it was probably the Marriott, like right next to the convention center.
Yeah, sure.
And he like walked through the bar and like everyone was just like, oh, that's him, That's him, You just immediately recognize him. He looks exactly how he looks in all of the gear review videos,
Yeah, and Guitar Center and Musician's Friend, which is all the same company anyway, Music and Arts, they don't have a Mitch Gallagher.
Yeah, that's true.
Downs and Anti, like all those other companies, the other 3 or 4 big companies in this, they don't have the guy.
Right.
And there's Chicago Music. There's a bunch of big hitters there. Now, the funny thing is because our last name is Riemann, there is the Riemann stores that they got like 24 stores out west. So people think that we're them.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
same spelling?
They see Craig.
Same spelling?
It's exact same spelling, believe it or not. So I'm like, sure, yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. Do you want to invite me to the cocktail hour now? Sure. I'll take that free dinner at Morton's down the block. Absolutely.
Come on, Corey. Where's the Messiah text?
I thought you were going to make fun of me if I did it.
You don't even spell our name right, you retard. Look at that.
You can't say that on the air.
I just did.
Where's your bleep button? I only say it when you overuse it.
Yeah, but he didn't even spell our name right. That's sad.
No, I think it was correct,
did.
but it was
It's
like the
capital.
double caps, which I'm always doing. There's always like capital S, capital H, because it's like Sheehan. Like you, like I want to be quiet when they say it, but
I want to
And
make sure.
by the way, just in hindsight,
because the bleep button is always best when you use it after the fact.
Damn right.
So, well, the first time that we really got into the retail market, because Corey used to go more to be an art to get artist pricing, and to be an artist to get recognized by all these companies and play at all the booths. But we met the first company Marty had worked for was LPD with us anyway. Obviously, he worked for, but and those guys told us about Dan Electro guitars and a few other things, and so Marty was our representative, and then. We had a great relationship. Everything's going well. Marty went over to this album and he gave us a call and he told us about this really 3 great companies that are part of the American album. Now, for those of you who don't know, Album is actually a gigantic company in Europe, probably one of the biggest distributors in Europe. So they don't have as many products in the United States. But I'm going to let him tell you about the products because we bought on and we have a ton of lag guitars in our thing, and we bought a few more Ashdown. And I'm going to tell you, when you get to the bass part of the Ashdown basses, Cliff, everybody knows Cliff, who works with us, and Cliff's lead guitar player with the Dilemma, and he's also our head engineer. Cliff sat down and started playing the Ashdown basses, and he's like, the price on this is outrageously low. Like, this is one of the best basses I've ever played in my life. So needless to say, we're going to have a few in our showroom that we ordered and the Ashdown amps. But go ahead, Marty. I'm turning it over to you, please.
Oh no, that's all good. Yeah. So yeah, I got hooked up with Algam USA kind of right when they launched this American leg. So I believe we started like late February, early March of 2025. And I had actually been out of the industry for a little bit too. So yeah, I had left LPD. I had worked in a different industry for about 10 months. And then I got the call from these guys and I was like, you know what, time to come home, So, and I really didn't know much about lag before I got hired on, but every guitar that I've pulled out of the box has been super clean. It's a company based in France, like all the designs done in France. There's a ton of guitars made in China now, of course, and Lags is as well, but they own their factory in China and only make lag guitars there. A common thing is for a bunch of different brands to, bring guitars out of the same factory, or have guitars manufactured at the same factory. Which ones are, who's making what. It's getting easier to find out that information nowadays. But the cool thing with Lag actually only making lag guitars in this one factory is just quality control top to bottom is fantastic. Like the people making the $299 big entry-level guitars are the same ones making the high vibe guitars that map at like $1,599.
Explain to people what the high vibe pickup is all about.
So yeah, so the high vibe system, high vibe is actually a separate company to Lag, but still a French company. But yeah, they designed a preamp and like an actuator system that mounts under the bridge plate of a guitar. So in the same way, like I think the Yamaha Transacoustic does something very similar. I think there's a few Enya guitars that do it as well. But yeah, so it's pretty much a way to get effects out of your acoustic guitar without plugging into an amp or using any pedals or anything. It is all on board, and all of the sound comes out of the top of the guitar. So literally, you don't need any amplifier, anything else, just the guitar. And the high vibe system uses it to do some like multi-track looping. You can use it as a Bluetooth speaker as well and play songs directly through the top of the guitar. So I think it's a really cool way to incorporate tech into a pretty traditional like just wood instrument. So I know there's a lot of like kind of super futuristic guitars out there nowadays that have like smartphones built into the side and everything. And I think the high vibe system does a really good job at kind of still maintaining a traditional guitar aesthetic and also like feel and everything, but also add that extra kind of functionality on top.
You have so many musicians these days who want to be full-time musicians, don't want to have another job. And to be honest, you have to get involved probably, unless you're an elite band or a wedding band that's making big money, you have to play some solo gigs, and your solo gigs a lot of times are supplemented by the nursing home, the elderly home places, where you could get 5 or 6 things. And the reason I bring that up at the high vibe, a lot of times you're walking from section to section. And if you just have the high vibe unit in there, you don't have to bring the pedals. You don't have to bring anything else. You can go there and you can do some great stuff with it. And, I try to tell anybody, a customer of ours or everything, to take a look at that, especially, like I said, there are so many more solo artists now that are playing the elderly communities, the nursing homes, the rehab center facilities, that the high vibe system is really something geared for you, or a travel guitar, or any of those things. So I think the Lag product, and then you showed me some stuff at the booth itself that wasn't high vibe, but you're starting to have the what's with the resting area for the arm. Corey, what's that?
Oh, with the bevel?
Yes.
The bevel, which I've started seeing all the newer companies, which is funny. I don't see it with Gibson. I don't see it with Martin. I don't see it with Taylor. I see everybody else doing that now. And you guys had some magnificent guitars for under $1,000, like not even under $1,000, under $600 or $700.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one thing that Lag really does well, is just the quality of their like $300 to $600 guitar is fantastic. Like I would literally put them up against any other guitar in that price range, and even in a slightly higher price range. And I mean, I would have people blind compare that versus a competitor any day of the week, because I really do think they're doing a good job. And I mean, I know I sell the guitars and stuff too, but also I have taken some of my sample guitars that I have here, I've taken them out to gigs. I've used them, like I've gigged with them, and just to make sure that they stand up to the test and everything. And yeah, they've performed great every time.
So I don't want to cut this stuff short, because I want to get to Ashdown.
Oh, for sure.
Tell people about Ashdown. And look, our engineer Cliff is super sound guy, works for Yale, does the top clubs around here. He sat down and started listening, and Marty was showing him the Ashdown equipment. Let's talk about the amps first.
Yeah.
And let's go over to the actual basses. Tell everybody what makes Ashdown really as special as it is.
Yeah, so I mean, historically, Ashdown, they're based in the UK. So they're in that kind of group of UK amp builders, but Mark Gaudet, who started the company, he was originally a Trace Elliott guy, and then ended up starting Ashdown. And now his son, Dan, is also in the mix. But I mean, if you look at their artist roster, you got guys like Geezer Butler, Black Sabbath. You got guys like Nate from Foo Fighters, Shavo from System of a Down. Like their artist roster is like loaded. And I feel like it is kind of like an if you know kind of situation with Ashdown, because I mean, yeah, they're just known to be a reliable touring rig, top to bottom. And so they do, the entry level small combos all the way up to, all valve heads and like huge cabs and everything. So it's like a solid lineup. They've actually moved they're in the process of moving a lot of their production to the UK from China. So I mean, it's just going to get everything's just going to get better. Everything's hand built in the UK, or will be hand built in the UK. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like their guitar stuff's fantastic too. There was an 80-watt head on top of a 412 cab at the NAMM booth that I played, a few chords through, and I'm like, I don't know why Marshall doesn't make an amp like this, because it's just like that British power kind of situation.
And it is that quintessential Brit. It's the best of your Vox. It's the best of your Marshall. It's the best of all of this put into, and again, there are the guitar ones, but in this very bass centric, it sounds like an Ashdown. It's got this pluck to it, for lack of a better term. It's a really plucky sound. It's really
yeah, right. Yeah.
You hear the notes you're playing.
Look,
it's not
we own a lot of bass amps. We own Mark, we have GK, we have Fender, we have a lot of bass amps. The one that's now used on 95% of all our gigs is our Ashdown. We bring it every.
Glad to hear it, guys. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no. You'll see every single one of our pictures with it. It's a great amp. It's not heavy. I'm
allowed to pick it up.
Yeah. And he's special.
I'm more damaged than special, but that's okay.
All spring beans.
But no, we're believers in the Ashdown product. I mean, we as you said, we ordered some more. Marty put in an order for us this week when we got home. But let's go to that next. Let's go to their bases. Talk about what makes their bases special. And then Corey, you tell me also, I'll let Marty tell the one side and then you tell the feel side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, they're Cliff approved, and that's all you need to know, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
By the way, my first sale out of the two that we ordered, Cliff has already bought one of them. So, yes.
Cliff, by the way, just my quick little thing. That's John Bollinger from Rig Rundown, and saw him at the end of the day on I think Friday, and he is another one of these guys, nicest guys. Probably talked to him for like 5 minutes, and he asked me what I was running for my rig. John Bollinger asked me for my Rig Rundown. I can die happy.
Huge.
I can die happy.
Fantastic, man. That's the question you want to get asked from that guy for sure, man.
You're asking me what I'm playing out of?
Yeah.
What'd you tell him?
So I was like, I'd have a lot of really, really upset sponsors if I didn't mention my Eminent Technologies, custom 22 amp, my close guitars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we are talking about Ashdown and lag. Yeah.
Hey, man, a rig's a rig. We all talk about it. It's all right. I outside of the companies I work for, I also play a lot of different guitars too, so
yeah, let's talk about that bass though. I mean,
okay, so yeah, their series of basses, which are, I believe, pretty new to the lineup. Roasted maple necks all across the board. You've got the Saint that has a PJ, the PJ setup. You've got the Saint Soap, which has a single soap bar pickup in it. The Capri, which has the same single soap bar, but it's a 30-inch scale. And then the Capri 23, which we debuted at the NAMM show, which was the little guy, the little 23-inch, kind of like, little guy. For all you like ukulele players that want to get into bass, but honestly, they've just been clean out of the box, man. That's it's like very little setup on the dealer's part, to make it playable for an end user, and they just rip, man. That's really all it is.
He loved it, and again, you see that we have the Rickenbacker bass hanging right behind Corey. We have the PRS Kingfish. We have MTD. We have the 4, 5, 6 string. We have probably about 25 basses in between the showroom and the studio and everything else. And Cliff said, dude, not that he's our bass player, but he jumps in sometimes, especially in the studio, to play some. And he's like, that's what I want. Yeah. Yeah. So he loved it. Hey, Cliff ended up getting written up in Bass Magazine.
Yeah, one like Bass Gear Magazine, because he was demoing something, playing with me, and they're like, check this out, blah, blah, blah. And the bass player who was playing the Hofner Beetle bass, he was this thing that had sound, and it's like, that is hysterical. That's like me getting to do an interview about me like coaching beer league hockey. That
way. Yeah, well, no, Cliff had a good time. So yeah, there was the one night we got to play. What was the brewery that we played at?
Synth Beer Company. It's a brand new brewery right outside of Anaheim. It's in oh my god, what the hell is it? Costa Mesa. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's in Costa Mesa.
The beer, by the way, phenomenal. A phenomenal West Coast double IPA. I forget what the name of it. It was so good. I had a second and I was feeling good.
Yeah, no, we had a good time there. So actually, Eminent Technology was able to put together a really good a group of people. So Karen Bella went on first. She did a solo routine, and then
the Creef brothers, also from
France. The Creef brothers are from France.
They're gypsy jazz kind of Django Reinhardt-y. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
If Django Reinhardt and George Benson had a love child, it would be these two.
Their dad is world famous, and so are they. Let me put it this way: you know how good they are. They stay with George Benson when they come to the States.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you know, and for those who don't understand that George Benson is, and some say the greatest guitar player of all time, depends on that genre, but George Benson is, and George thinks these guys are the best he knows. And so we got to see the Creef brothers play, and then the old man stepped up for a few minutes too, and he jumped in with one of his sons, and it's, I mean, yeah. Wowza. And but then Corey went on with Cliff, and Cliff took the guy, one of the owners has a Hofner bass because they really wanted to showcase their amp that they have Eminent Technology. And he got to play that thing, and it sounded great. They had a great set. I hate you, Corey. But they did that, and one of the writers that was there wrote up about how it sounded.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It was neat. I mean, that was the one thing about this NAMM that was really cool, was Corey got to play in so many different areas. He played at the Marriott the one night. He played at a ton of booths. And it's funny because we start to know everybody now. You know, it's you know, there's a lot of companies, a lot of people, but it's not that big a world.
That's the beauty of the NAMM show, and just like the musical products industry as a whole. You know, you think it's like this like from the outside, you think it's like this huge thing, but then you start seeing the same people every year, and like, you know, this is it. These are the people. Like, these are the people. You know, and
it's a cult.
Yeah.
Well, it's also funny because the same sales reps, just, you know, you might not representing the company that we met you at.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
so many friends now who moved to, but that also got Corey and I into finding companies that we would have never
would have thought about.
For sure. Yeah.
A million years. And it got us affiliated with some of the, you know, great distributors too, like Jammo, who owns TMP, and they own KMC. And that got us into so many different companies. But if we don't meet Sue Gallagher from KMC, who it was introduced to us through Lee Oscar Harmonicas, you know, and Lee introducing Sue to us. Now Sue is now working for Wham, Ovation and Gretsch Company, who we now are, by the way, distributing as of
which as a Connecticut born you know, musician, to be representing the company that puts out Ovation, that meant a lot. That was a big deal. That was a big
sure,
one.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, they made it, you know, 20 miles from our houses with the and they came in company with the helicopters and realizing that the plastic could make this crazy thing. And
right.
I'm a big Glenn Campbell fan. I think Glenn Campbell was one of the greatest players, most underrated, and that he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Everybody should just stop.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. I know he's in the Country Hall of Fame. Corey and I have seen that a few times in Nashville, but in any case, but I don't want to cut you short on. Please tell us all of it. Yes, Glenn Campbell, basically the Messiah. Yes. Talk about the pedals.
Yeah, so Kernum, I think they've got a really sweet thing going on too. Honestly, I think their first NAMM show was 2021, maybe 2022, something like that. So kind of newer kid on the block, but their overdrive, like, so they only make 3 pedals. They make an overdrive, a fuzz, and a modulation pedal, and they're all like, all 3 of them are kind of full on workstations. But if you want an overdrive that will do every overdrive sound out there, like, literally, the Kernum Ridge overdrive is the one. There hasn't been a tone that I haven't been able to dial in on it. You know, it literally just does everything. So I mean, when it comes, my kind of main playing gig nowadays is like in pit orchestras for musicals, like that sort of thing. So yeah, so there's like a lot of different like levels of gain that even a single show can call for, and with the expression pedal input on the ridge, you can actually like set like what your heel down is and what your toe down is, and then get everything in between. So like, I mean, it's been an invaluable like spot on my pedal board, But yeah, I mean, I think they're doing I think they got a really good thing going.
Yeah, so Corey just put it on his pedal board this weekend. So for those who saw probably a lot of the posts this weekend, the Dilemma band played in the Matterhorn in Stowe, Vermont. See, it's Snow, Vermont, not in Stowe. But
by the way, everything in that town uses that horrible pun. Anything that in a ski town you would usually call snow something, it's the snowflake, it's the stow storm, it's the
By the way, at 12 o'clock every night when you get done and have to load in, it snows, and the wind starts coming, and it's horrific. The ice is completely everywhere. And the cops are
miserable. It's the end of the month, and these guys need their quotas, and it's like, oh.
And I'm sitting there driving 25 miles. Now, for everybody who drives, it's almost impossible to have your foot on the goddamn gas pedal and go 25 miles because there's also cloud everywhere, and the snow is coming down.
You're up the mountain. You're down the mountain.
But the Matterhorn itself, I'll give an advertisement. The Matterhorn is rated the #1 ski
après bar in North America by readers of USA Today.
Yeah, no, it deserves it. The food is fantastic. The beer is great. And
I had a lamb burger.
Yeah,
this lamb burger was godly. Oh my Lord.
And the staff there is fantastic, and they hook you up with drinks all night, and they're great. But
that's not so great. No.
Yeah. Well,
no.
On Friday night wasn't
free heady topper all night. No. Oh no.
Saturday morning we might have had to go behind a certain place, so that I was like, dude, I'm sharing a room with you, so you're thrown up before we get to that room.
I love how you're giving yourself credit for me saying pull the over.
Well, you were doing that because you were going to die in the car. So,
people just keep buying them for you, and it's already cracked open. Like, at least if you're if they had handed it to me with the can uncracked, I could go sneak it behind my amp and bring it back with me. Which, by the way, if you're doing that, please, if anyone's listening, any bartenders at the Matterhorn's listening, don't crack my beer, please. Please and thank you. Because when they buy you this drink, the person, and it's like expensive beer, they're like expecting you to drink it, and it's already cracked open. So like you're like an asshole if you don't.
God forbid you turn down a beer. I mean, and more beer.
I'm a man of the people.
Listen, I got to tell you. We had a guest bassist with us this week, Connor Oyster Bub. And Connor could drink, man. He didn't even feel it. He just kept down every free beer that came in.
He was drinking PBR all night. The difference between PBR and the freaking heady topper is he
knows what he can do, man. Connor was awesome, but but the other thing is there's like 500 or 600 people jammed into this place. It is wall to wall, and we happen to be probably the most popular band in that area. We go there twice a year. The place is jammed. Everybody has seen the band before. It's got a gigantic following in Vermont, and we have a blast there. But I am a 60-plus-year-old man, and I'm staying out all night, and I'm dragging this shit in the snow. And we got back from California, Wednesday, and then I had to go up to Stowe, and there's snow everywhere here. It was just crazy. So anyway, what is this one?
It's James. Can you not read?
No, I know, who's going to be the next Messiah? I don't get that. What does that even mean? There's only one, dude. No, I'm sorry.
Tonight there have been several.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
Actually, there are people who are basically.
Anyway, you used the pedals. You added it to your pedal board. How did you use it on Saturday? Tell everybody. That was my point.
My overdrive pedal never got turned off. I turned it on at the beginning. There were a few moments I gave it a little extra dirt, a little extra, just want a little to it. But it made my amp sound the way my amp is supposed to sound. It was whatever. I have to imagine whatever the sound of the top of a wave that's about to crack and foam and head to the shore. That's what my amp sounded like, and that was heavenly.
No, it sounded good, and I'm gonna say this to everybody. Having Cliff as your lead guitar player, I mean, I don't mean to demean his guitar playing, but having him do the sound for you, dude, it's night and effing day. Corey could do sound. He's adequate at sound. He's good even at sound, but having Cliff is just a whole other. And plus, for me personally, I don't have to set everything up anymore. I don't have to count out all the cables and figure out where I'm going to put the damn cables because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just
it's that secret sauce, man.
But having it's so nice, and then everybody's better off because then the drummer has drum mics, and you can hear the drums the way it's supposed to, the crispness to everything. And it's just when you have the full setup and you're using the right rig and you have the right amps, man, it sounds good. But yeah, Corey, the pedals sounded pretty terrific. So like I said, everything. So is Alchem going to be adding anything new to the line this year that we know about?
So we are at the NAMM show. We became the exclusive distributor for Quick Lock stands. So yeah, if you guys need some studio stuff, you know who to call for that now. So that's the
Ray Parker Jr. and Ghostbusters.
He was there, yeah. But
send us over what we got and what the nets are, and we'll definitely pop something through.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
No,
it's cool working for a distributor like this because we are looking to expand and add brands, and the more cool stuff I get to talk about with like-minded musicians is really why I do the job. So yeah, no, I'm happy. Like, honestly, I spent 10 months outside of the industry and kind of getting hired back and calling on old friends. Really did feel like coming home. So yeah, no, I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's funny, when you're in one industry for a really long time. I had been in the scholastic field for 24 years. I worked for one company, and we said goodbye to one another, and I had a no compete that said I wasn't allowed in the industry.
Right.
They paid me a certain amount of money not to work for a bunch of years, at least in that industry. So I got into the banking industry for a little while. But the minute that agreement said that I was allowed back in, I immediately came over to Balfour, and I've been very happy because when you're in something, you're just familiar with it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
And it's easier.
It feels a little less. Yeah, it feels a little less like work. I've got. I met up with kind of one of my old mentors, longtime sales rep in the industry. Kind of one of those, just one of those good guys to know. And pretty much just started catching up with him, and I was like, "Hey, how you been, man? Like, you having a good show and everything?" And he's like, "Hey, beats working." And that's just the approach.
I think that's the beauty, right? Like when you do something and it's not work. Look, I like the music industry, especially the retail side of it. I built this giant this thing in the back with this showroom. I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last few years building up the studio, putting together this retail thing so that when it is time, and time's coming sooner that I, semi-retire, Not quite yet, but we're there. But when I say semi-retire from what I currently did to make all my money. Now I want to have fun. I enjoy the music industry. I enjoy the entertainment industry. By the way, Dave, did you see Star Search this weekend?
No.
So you got to get on Star Search. Seriously.
Oh yeah, they brought it back.
They brought it back this weekend. It's on Netflix. And one of the comedians who was on Star Search this weekend.
Oh, I don't know if I want to hear this.
He's very tall.
Liam
was on Star Search this weekend.
Okay.
He didn't
Star
win.
Search? That's going back like 40 years, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Netflix picked up Star Search.
Wow.
Ed McMahon's been dead a while, but they brought it back. Liam was on this weekend. I just watched it. So what I want you to do is for next week, I want you to watch what Liam did and maybe do a critique of both and how with how you felt that both guys did.
Okay.
That'd be, I think, a pretty cool segment, right?
Yeah,
Just
I'll watch.
check it out. By the way, in the bottom left-hand corner, the great Cody Bondra is in the house.
Hello, everybody. Hey, guys. I just wanted to say I've been listening. The Ashdown stuff looks absolutely incredible. Corey and I were checking it, or Corey checked it out live, obviously, but he was showing me all this stuff on the website today, and I'm super pumped to get my hands on one of those. So,
all right.
A successful NAMM, everyone.
But you have played the Ashdown, the amp.
Yeah, I played the amp. Yeah. No, and it's great, and I love Corey. I love the pedals with the meters on them. That looks like awesome, and then just the British aspect of it. I'm a big Vox guy, so
no, for sure, man.
Welcome addition, but no, that sounds awesome, man. And congrats what you guys are doing. We're super happy to be on board with you to get some of those around here.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys are. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are getting so much use out of this stuff. And yeah, the VU meter is always a nice touch too. Like that's kind of like an Ashdown trademark sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, so like when you see those, you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey, when did we use recently? We used the pedal. What did happen?
We didn't have room in the car. I remember we literally did not. We had no room in the car.
Oh, for the New Year's Eve show.
Yes, the New Year's Eve show.
Right.
Good call.
Yeah, I brought this. Like giant. So long story short, I keep my stuff in like a storage unit, and there was a mix-up not a mix-up, but I left a little late, so I didn't have time to stop and get it. But I did have access to like this 1970s German amp with like all this odd wattage in it that was like the size of a doghouse. So I brought it in, and Corey and Craig are just like, you know what? Let's just use the pedal. And I was like, works for me, because that was. I honestly think though that benefited us on the way home, having that weighing down the back of the car, because that was not a fun trip home.
Right. Sometimes you need that extra weight. Yeah, for sure.
For nothing, but that pedal definitely was a much better addition and use than the amp.
Cody has learned. I'm getting better at being a manager parent in this day. So I told everybody we played at the Westerly Yacht Club on New Year's Eve, and I said to everybody, guys, right around midnight, it's gonna start snowing really, really bad. Do you guys want me to get a hotel room for everybody?
Yeah, so, Craig offered it, and we were all like, think we can make it.
So Lisa, Corey, and I, we went to a hotel in Mystic, which should only be like a 15-minute drive that took like 35 minutes to get there.
Yeah, Jack and Cliff and I ended up in Serbia.
Yeah, which should be an hour and like 50-minute drive. It took those guys like 3.5 hours to get home.
It was 3.5 hours, and we stopped once at a gas station that I am 99% sure is 24 hours, but they closed because of the weather. And
always a good sign about what's going on.
When I got home that night, it was like 4 a.m. after I dropped everybody off, and I had this like big hill to.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
What?
Where'd he go? He's gone.
He's gone. He's getting
Maybe he's the next Messiah.
He could be. But that was a crazy night. We, coming home from New Year's Eve from the Westerly Yacht Club, it just started. It wasn't even that bad of a snowstorm. It probably only gave us 4 or 5 inches, but it all came at midnight to like 4 a.m. So, the guests are all back and everything like that. But those of us who played that night, it was crazy. It just wasn't. Dave, you became the Messiah now too, basically.
This is just getting out of control.
Corey's not allowed to control that thing anymore.
Well, none of the rest of us know how.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Turn off the pineapple. That's where he gets his strength.
Yeah. But, so one of the things that we started, I said when Marnie introduced us kind of with his former company, we've expanded this situation a little bit. So besides now Sono Studios in our retail division, Cody, why don't you tell everybody about Chord and what we're really launching now?
Yeah, so like Craig was talking about, he was absolutely incredible and kind of getting this thing off the ground and putting the money into it. Just, over the years, Corey and I and, Craig and my dad and a lot of local musicians, we continuously found ourselves in issues whether with like band personnel, and I'm sure everybody has that issue at one point or the other, but we had a lot of shows that we couldn't book because certain people weren't available or some things like that, or different issues. Certain people didn't want to play certain kind of music, and it just got to be like, all right, well, and over time you find out who's easy to work with, and at the end of the day we found that most musicians that are talented and just enjoy being a musician will take a stab at any kind of music. I mean, Corey's been with me playing a country show. I've been with Corey playing an R&B show. And so what we wanted to do is Craig kind of got into the retail side of it, but we're putting together an artist roster of people, and we're going to start, in Connecticut and New England, but, expand and just create a roster of dependable people for bass players, keyboard players, horn players. So if you get a show where, you need certain things, you can just contact the agency and we'll help, I guess, dispatch someone out to you or get somebody out to you. And, we're also with the studio connected. So we really want to make a point. I think it's a great time because with all the different distributions and distributing services that are out there, anybody can put a record out. So I think it's important to get that next generation of artists in a studio and say, hey, look, make something and put it out there. And so I think Sono is doing a great job with that, and top of the line equipment, top of the line instruments. We look forward to adding the Ashdowns there too. But we're putting together an artist roster and getting people in the studio and getting people playing shows. And there's a lot more into it than that. But, like Craig was saying, he's taking care of the retail side pretty much. And I'm working on the roster portion of it. And Corey's doing a little bit of everything like he normally does. But we're excited. Our website's kind of, it's up, but it's still in construction. But if anybody wants to check it out, it's chord.management, which stands for Creative Opportunity and Recording Development. We just want to make sure that we can help people out the way that we wanted to be helped when we were younger. And
help me help you.
Yes, help me help you. And I think, as I'm getting older, I'm more fascinated with the behind the scenes of the music industry. I know when I first got back kind of into it up here, I begged Craig to let me be their tour manager and he obliged, and I found out, that's something that I'm good at and I'm interested in doing that. And, like I said, we were fortunate enough that he put it all together, and Corey worked really hard on it. And we're just really thankful for the opportunity to put it out there. And it's been over a year in the making, but we're excited to kind of finally bring it to fruition piece by piece.
We're like carpenters, we promise one date and it takes twice as long and double the amount that it's supposed to be.
It builds the anticipation.
Yes, but
Call me Carly Simon.
On the serious side of things, I guess I've been in the industry now for about 15 years. It's about when Cody and Corey started playing and started, doing stuff together and things like that.
Half my life ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the things that I've learned about booking, about what not to book, what to book, how to get paid. And again, I'm not one of those people who goes on Cover Band Central who rips on people for taking less money than they should. You know what? There are weekend warriors. There are guys who want to play for beer. Okay. And there's a place for you. But if you're a real professional, you're not competing against those people anyway. And you can play at the same venue even sometimes.
Right.
Except
365 days in the year. Can't play there every night.
Absolutely. And if you're a musician and you're worried about the guy who's, the weekend warrior or the dentist who's playing with his buddy, the doctor,
listen, the dentists only play jazz. The doctors play blues. Come on. The lawyers and the doctors play blues. Come on.
And again, I say that they might be our best customers someday as far as selling them on the high-end equipment. But my point being is we have found that there are markets out there that people weren't touching, that they weren't utilizing. Like I said earlier, if you're a solo guitarist and you're trying to make it and you don't want to have another job, you have to start looking at park and recs, nursing homes, places that will pay you that you can get 7 or 8 shows a week, and then you could play your Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. If you don't want to be in a wedding band, you got to start doing some of the other solo stuff, and you got to be able to play this. We also understood something else. As much as we'd love to do original music all the time and play original music, there's very few people that are going to make any money playing original music only. It's just not, I talk about the check. Corey got a $31 check one day, a few months ago, $31 for a song that he put out about 1.5 years ago, the Woo song. And
wait, you get paid for songs you put out?
Yeah, well, if you want to call it $31 paid. So we took a look at that.
You guys got paid?
Well, here was the deal. On the one hand, it was terrible, $31, but on the other hand, we realized that was at 0.001 cent from Spotify, whatever it is, which means 310,000 people listened to it. Right? And so that was a positive vibe. But we realized, look, we got to play some covers. And to be and again, all the more power to you. If you can afford to just play original only and you want to give it all on the original only thing and play with 4 other bands and 5 other bands and sell tickets to every single gig that you go to, and you want to live that lifestyle, God bless you. And I'm not being a jerk about it. Like I can't do that. But if you want to figure out target markets and niches, Corey, Cody, and I figured this thing out a little bit. We figured out that, as we said, we played the Westerly Country Club on New Year's Eve. We got paid, and we got paid well. We get paid wherever we go, and we get paid well. We're playing at the Matterhorn over the weekend. We're playing at the places that you get paid. We figured out a niche. We play colleges. We play sororities, fraternities. We play yacht clubs. We play country clubs. We play very large mansions. We play some exclusive festivals. We play some amusement parks. We do tours, very specific tours. We go on the Bike and Beer tour, and they gave us like 8 or 10 shows today for the rest of the summer. We have figured these things out. And one of the things that we want to do, Cody, Corey, and I, we want to sit there and talk to these, groups. Because we're a full entertainment company who's going to be a label as well. We're going to be a place where you can get all your retail goods, but we're going to sit down and find out who you guys are. Where do you want to go? Because the other thing that Cody, as he said, that he's real good at is, booking and giving timelines and where you're going to be every day. Everybody says they want to be a rock star until they do it. Guess what? On a Friday night in the summer, you play one place that's 2 hours from your home. The next night, you got to go up to, in our area, from Connecticut to Newark Airport that night and stay at the Newark Airport, whatever, Hilton or Holiday Inn, to get to Philadelphia by 11 a.m. that next day to play your first show Saturday afternoon. Then at the night.
Yeah, speaking of Philadelphia, man, I have a bone to pick with you. You guys are sitting in sunny Anaheim, and I'm shivering in 4-degree weather trying to find out where the blizzard's going to hit to see if I get to play my Washington, D.C. show.
So
yeah, Philly's not on my great side at the moment. So,
but that's my point. I mean, you're making the point. And like we said, you played Philly, then we got to be in the Catskills in New York that night to play a gig, and then Sunday afternoon we're playing some dopey festival somewhere. So that's 4 shows, 3 days. You went to bed in 2 different hotels. You got in at 2 a.m. No, we didn't get to see Philadelphia. No, we didn't get to go play any place in the, and have fun in the Catskills in the summer and go, white water rafting or something. That's not what happened. We were in the car together. We probably ate some good food. We probably drank a lot of whatever.
Roy Rogers.
Yeah, we've done the Roy Rogers, the upstate. Yeah, Corey, Cody, and I have been up to Syracuse and back in the same day.
Yeah.
Played in Maine. We drove all the way up to Maine and came all the way home in the same day, just to make it work financially too. But you got to do this as a business. This is a business, and you know what? I've heard guys 1099. Yeah, you get a 1099 if you make money. Okay, that should be an honor that you get a 1099. Okay, and if you can't figure out how to write off your equipment, your mileage, and everything else, then you don't deserve to be in a band anyway.
Well, that's how you stay out there. I mean, yeah, like you said, like Corey, I don't know if you're like me, but growing up, I was all about, I want to be, rock star. And then the moment, like, as you progress, I feel like the moment I became a real musician was the moment I started complaining about being on the road. I was like, I used to dream in my bedroom that I was, on the road for the weekend playing awesome shows. Now I'm on the road dreaming I'm in my bedroom. So it's like funny how that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I have this beautiful bedroom.
So Marty, you're basically playing in orchestras now and that type of stuff.
That's awesome, man.
When did you decide the road sucked?
Well, I mean, I did the bar band, wedding band thing for some time, like in college and after college, and I mean, having the day job is really like the main thing that keeps me from, I've really just taken too many outside gigs, but I've always like written and recorded myself and everything as well. So, I'm always kind of like making music on the side always, so as much as I do kind of miss, like that sort of gigging atmosphere, it's nice to be able to at least still play out in some capacity,
Does it keep, oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say Dave lives, Dave's a comedian. Dave plays all over the place. Dave, what's the worst weekend that you have usually on the road?
Well, I don't. What?
And the best weekend.
Well, I'm not on the road a lot, not nearly as often like as you and Corey are. I was in upstate New York this past weekend. I just happened to work with someone who's able to get a couple of gigs up there, but I'm not like, I might be local one weekend, like 20 minutes from, or I might have one that's like an hour and a half away. So I'm not spreading myself too thin, but I can relate to the road part of things. Just being in the car a lot. So I think you probably have more like nightmare type stories of like bad hotels. I haven't stayed over in as many places. I'm still trying to stay sort of local. So no nightmare quite as bad as some of the ones you've shared.
The real life Spinal Tap moments.
Yeah.
Every performer has those real life Spinal Tap moments. You have those things that could have been a scene in that movie. Yep. We've all had them. We've all lived it.
I did drive an hour and a half recently, and then when I got there, I was like, "Oh, we didn't sell enough tickets. Show's canceled." I mean, that sometimes happens.
Rough.
Oh God.
Cody,
what were you giving you a full? Oh no, I was just gonna say for talking about like the traveling and stuff, Marty. Like, one of the reasons like to have those kind of pedals and those things that you guys create is it's so much easier to take on fly dates. I remember stuffing like guitar, like amp simulators and stuff, and I was using the Tech 21 fly rig for a while. And Corey introduced me to that pedal. It's just so nice to just be able to throw that in your backpack and set up and go. I would, Corey, I'm sure you're like me. You'd love to bring a Marshall sack with you everywhere, but Delta isn't the most friendly when it comes to that, but no, so that's incredible, Marnie, what you guys are doing, and how everything just keeps improving too. I remember like that first like Line 6 pod that came out,
Yeah,
and
right.
now all the different stuff they have. But no, yeah, I was gonna ask too, like when you switched, not switch, but when you started doing like pit gigs, did you find that like sparked more creativity because it kind of like introduced you to another genre and like more like learning older things?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing was it really helped me flex, or work out my reading muscle. I went to school for music. I played trumpet all through college and everything.
Really?
Yeah. So, and then like I kind of went a long time not really having sheet music in front of me, or like learning how to like read a chart. Or like I haven't had to read a chart down, in a while. So, just being able to get in that, getting these weird, and like it puts me into like weird playing scenarios too, like if I'm doing like a community theater gig, who knows what the pit's going to sound like, who knows what kind of like front of house system, like what they have going on in the space. So it's nice because also as a gearhead, it's kind of like I get to like build a pedal board for every show. I get to like rearrange everything, see what I need, figure out switching options if I'm playing like electric, acoustic, banjo, and ukulele in the show or something, So it's so it's a crazy way, like it's a crazy form of gigging that like I never really considered back when I was like playing in a bar or like playing in a wedding band, but it pays and it's a good time, and the networking's great too. So
do you have a favorite theater composer at this point?
A theater composer, not so much.
Or music, I'll tell you, I absolutely love Sondheim.
For sure.
Oh my god, like the dude was theater's Bob Dylan, if you ask me.
I hear you.
He was.
Did he write "Send in the Clowns"?
Absolutely did.
Yeah,
that should be our theme song every time we go somewhere.
Isn't it rich?
Change that intro. I gotta change that intro song, man.
Aren't we a pair?
That's a whole.
I was watching a Skid Row bootleg from the early '90s, and they walked on stage to that song. That's like, "They're coming to take me away, haha! They're coming to take me away to the funny farm." And I was like, "That's what we should walk on stage to."
There you go.
I was thinking about the guys in the pit. So many years ago, one of my friends, Kenny, was able to get Corey and Cody into this private. It's a jam. It's not an open jam. It's not an open mic. But the guys that it's in Westchester. I'm not going to give the name of the place because it's kind of like it's industry known. So all the guys from Broadway show up there. So all the pit guys come in
to not have to play.
Their
normal stuff.
And also there's some other pretty famous guys there. That night was Bernie Williams from the New York Yankees, who is a great
Grammy nominee.
Yes. And Gil Paris, who's a phenomenal guitar player as well. So Gil's there.
Grammy nominee.
Yeah. And Corey and Cody were much younger then.
I know. This is what I was going to say. At least 12 years ago, right? Probably more.
Not a Grammy nominee.
Not that then.
And I also want to say, like, those guys, the people that we met there and interacted with there were 100 million times more friendly than some of the guys we run into at like the local open jams and stuff.
Those guys are like, "Hey, glad you're here. I'll play the Doors. I haven't played the Doors in ages. Like, they want to play. They want to have a good time."
So it was like very helpful as a young musician to kind of be like looked at like a human by those people. And I don't even remember what song we played, Corey, or songs, but I'm sure it was. I remember playing bass, and I had this obnoxious blue shirt on, and everyone could see how much I was sweating. So I was so nervous.
You guys played Roadhouse Blues.
Absolutely.
I do remember Roadhouse Blues.
And I do remember Blues.
You know what, Cody? You guys did the medley that you used to do.
Oh my God!
Oh, the Detroit medley. Yeah.
Detroit medley. Speaking of Marty, we did the Detroit medley. Tell Marty what the Detroit medley.
Devil in the blue dress, good golly, Miss Molly, into traveling band.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, man.
Wait,
Yeah.
here. So
When I only knew 3 chords, I could play the shit out of those 3 chords, man.
Hell yeah. That's all you need, man.
Now I'm a professional, man. I know 5. And I bought a capo.
You get to 6, you can call yourself a jazz musician.
True.
Listen, when you get to play with Cody, there's some unique things when you're in the band with Cody. He will walk up to somebody, give some of your better lines. We won't mention the people that you've walked up to.
I like to keep things light, but every once in a while I'll generally get upset with someone if like Corey and I are rehearsing for something for weeks and then people like don't. And I'll be like, hey man, like and this was just me screwing around with one kid. I'm like, hey man, like I prayed for you last night. And he was like, oh, like, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I'm like, yeah, I prayed that you practiced, so don't F this up. And like, then I just like walked away and the show started. And and it's usually to people I don't know that well. Like I've only met a few times. So like, and I know Cliff, like Craig will come to me when it's like somebody that like they really, really like. And he's just like, Cody, don't joke around too much with them. I'm like, oh, okay.
Though Cliff and I eventually we will go watch Gettysburg.
That wasn't even joking. Like you should watch as a U.S. citizen. You need to watch Gettysburg. That's your
phenomenal film.
We were doing this wedding in Maine, in the God knows northern part of Maine. We probably were in Canada. We didn't even know it. I mean, it was so far up in Maine.
No, they said we were like an hour and 10 minutes from the border.
It was so high up there. I mean, that moose weren't just wandering everywhere. So Cody, first time I think he really met Cliff, and now Marty knows Cliff. Cliff's your all-American young man. He just, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't swear. He's just a...
Oh, no.
Marty swears.
He has when he is frustrated, that boy has a filthy mouth.
But anyway, I we share rooms, everybody doesn't get their own room. They get their own bed. They just don't get their own room. Back in the day, people had to share beds. People started making money, but now at least you have your own bed. So
tough times, yeah.
Cody walks up to Cliff. Go ahead.
Oh, well, there's like 2 things. I was rooming with Cliff. I'm like, Cliff, like, how do you want to do the sleeping arrangements? And we had 2 beds, and I was like screwing with him. I'm like, do you want top or bottom? And then he was like, and he like, you could see he like generally thought about it for a moment. And I was just like, you know what? I'm a light sleeper. I'll take bottom. And then just again walked away, because I find that's like the funniest thing you can do is just walk away. And like bless him, because Cliff's like the nicest person. So I like think there was like a 3-second period where he thought I was like serious. And then I forget what we were talking about. We were talking about something, and we were like getting back to the hotel at like 3. And I was like, oh, perfect, man. We can watch Gettysburg. It's only 3.5 hours, and then we can get up and go home in the morning. And then and then at the end of like the night, Cliff was like, I think I'm gonna go stay with my parents in Portland. Like, and I thought that it was because of me, and and I was like, oh man, I was just kidding. We don't have to watch it tonight. And he's like, oh no, like I just want to go see my parents anyway. And then didn't we forget equipment there, and we had to like go back the next day and stuff?
He forgot.
You scared him enough that he left with
he left his equipment. He ran all the way to his parents.
Yeah, that was my bad. But you know what? We've
it must be 45, almost 90 minutes of a drive, because then I had to go 45 minutes back to the venue. Pick up
90 minutes. He could have watched the first half of Gettysburg. So it's like, that's on him. But no, I've gotten better over the years. I used to always try to like keep it funny on stage. But
Dave, Cody, and Dad, who plays Robert E. Lee in Gettysburg?
Martin Sheen.
Damn right, Martin Sheen of West Wing fame.
There was one drummer Corey and I played with that I would always like stare at them, and then they ended up like making mistakes like further down the line in the shows, and they would just get so mad.
It wasn't because you were staring at him.
No, it wasn't, but it just happened to be one of those things where it just like eventually built up to that, and I was like, oh man. But yeah, I've settled down in my old age now that I'm gonna be a papa too. So
There's brother Dave when he's not happy with a drummer of any type. Brother Dave just like, yo man, that's just wrong.
Oh my god, dude! I just saw your thing. I am so sorry.
Oh no, you're good, dude. Honestly, but
I'm gonna hop off and listen to the rest on the TV, Corey. Marnie, awesome getting to watch this and speak with you, man. Though, congrats on the successful NAMM. Really looking forward to getting my hands on one of those basses and putting them in the studio and everything. But I'm gonna hop off and watch the rest of this on the TV, guys.
All right, Cody, Marnie, we will see you guys soon. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, brother. No, I appreciate it.
You have an open invitation anytime you want to join us.
Sounds good, man. I'll stop by again. All right.
All right. Peace, sir.
Later, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
I guess with the three of us, I guess the other thing I wanted to, while we still have a few minutes, we got sad news in the world of entertainment this week, and this one, first of all, while we were gone, we lost my favorite guitarist of all time, Bob Weir, but then this week, losing Catherine O'Hara just so suddenly, that one hurt me. That one, she was one of the funniest, most wonderful comedians who ever walked the face of this earth.
That's because you were never left home alone.
That would have been a very different movie with Corey and the.
You guys want a beer? Honestly, I've got no one here. Like, you guys want to just chill?
Have you seen the showroom?
It's like, I'll order a pizza. You have a good time. But yeah, no. We were driving up to Stowe. We were just about to stop at the Greenfield Big Y to go grab a sandwich on the way there, and I dropped my phone. I was like, I can't believe I'm reading this. Catherine O'Hara died, and
your post is how I found out, and I was shocked too. I didn't know that. I don't know if she was sick. I guess she had announced an illness. I don't know that I heard that.
She kept. I guess if I remember the quote correctly, she kept it. She didn't tell any of her buddies. She didn't want anybody. I guess it was very quick. It was very sudden. She kept she kept her buddies out of the loop. Okay. For their own sake, and I guess because she just
saw her picture, her face.
She got very thin at the end.
Very, very, very thin.
But the thing that came to my mind was, and I think we've discussed not her in particular, but on this show, not too many people can be a master in multiple disciplines. And this woman, theater, television, film, voiceover animation, like, that's on top of just being one of the nicer people in the industry. Like, no one has said anything negative about her. She seems like she was one of those people. And I think there's something about these Toronto comedians on the plane ride home, or on the plane ride to NAMM. I watched the John Candy documentary, I Like Me, and literally days before I was watching this, days before she passed away, and just listening to her talk about John Candy, and saying how this was the same person on and off screen, and then to find out that she passed away, and it's like she was the same way.
It was so ironically just odd, because Corey watched the John Candy documentary, and he's like, Dad, you really need to watch the John Candy, because it's a long flight, to California, especially if you have a layover or whatever. And I watched the John Candy one, and it wasn't even that I didn't know a lot about him, because I did. I grew up watching John Candy, and but I didn't remember that he was an owner in the Toronto Argonauts with Wayne Gretzky. I mean, how cool is that? And he just seemed like such a nice person. And they kept talking about that whole group of Second City TV people, and then you start seeing them in all the different movies. They always made sure to put each other in their projects, which is really nice. That's kind of like, with Adam Sandler in the same vein, where he puts all his buddies, and he's never forgotten his buddies. And that whole Second City group kind of did that all along. And Oh, what's the one that she was in the
What, Schitt's Creek?
Schitt's Creek.
And her and Eugene Levy, like, and you know what? That's not even my favorite thing that the two of them were in.
Well, they did so much together.
Oh my God, they did the best in show. They did
series, yeah.
A Mighty Wind, though. I think that's my favorite, where they played Mitch and Mickey, the folk singers, and they have, unironically, that song that the two of them perform in it, "A Kiss at the End of the Rainbow," is this beautiful song, and it's the two of them singing it, and the film that culminates the two of them singing that, and just
Schitt's Creek was
it was great.
It was, you know,
it was heavy.
So here's the thing. Corey knows I don't like certain kinds of humor, right? I Monty Python to me is trash. I hate Monty Python. I cannot watch it. It annoys me. We were going over, you know, what I dig, you know, and I didn't think I was going to like Schitt's Creek because I thought it was going to be kind of, I don't know. It just didn't seem like something that I was going to enjoy. And Mike Bondra, I think, told me to watch it. You know, Cody's dad.
Like, trust me,
you're going to enjoy it. And you know what? I watched the first episode, second episode, and then I couldn't stop watching.
Day fed.
Yeah, it's just like, and I don't know why. Usually that stuff I don't find funny, but I found everything about that show funny. It made me really crack up. I enjoyed the characters. The whole thing was just ridiculously good, you know. And I appreciated. You know what? It wasn't cheap humor.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually very sophisticated, but not pompous.
Yeah.
You know, like Monty Python, I feel is like pompous, stupid shit. I can't stand it. I really don't like it.
I always loved
it. Well, that's you, and that's, you know, and look, most people like it. I don't. I'm a Benny Hill guy. That's the only. I like Benny Hill.
Be careful, John, lest you suffer vertigo from the dizzying heights of your moral ground.
Yeah, you know, Corey and I were talking about on the ride. It's a long ride home from Stowe too, and I was like, I like Abbott and Costello.
Yeah,
I like the Stooges. You know,
yeah.
I like Laurel and Hardy, but if you ask me of those three, I like Abbott and Costello the best. You know, that was more my cup of tea. And of the English humor, Benny Hill was funnier to me. I guess I like the physical, the physical humor and that stuff.
And those Second City players, though, they kind of bridged the gap. Like, you know, there was enough Saturday Night Live to them. There was enough, you know, British humor to them. I guess that's the quintessentially Canadian part of it. It is this nice mix of these different styles that you don't get out of everyone else. But yeah, when you think about the community of these guys, you have, you know, Aykroyd, you had O'Hara, Candy, Rick Moranis, Gilda Radner. Let's not forget, she didn't start on Saturday Night Live. She was one of the Second City players.
You know what's cool about John Candy? I mean, you know, getting into that and where she brought out some of it. He was a vulnerable comedian. You know, you rooted for him, right? You know, he would try to get the girl, but he's this big, heavy guy. He was kind of an oof.
Who didn't do fat humor.
No, he didn't. But he was kind. And in his kindness and his vulnerability, and that you wanted him to get the pretty girl. I wanted him to get Ali Sheedy in that movie where he lived with his mom. You know, he was like, what was he, a fire, a policeman, or whatever he was.
They referenced it in the documentary. You know, he was Uncle Buck. He really was Uncle Buck. That was who he was. And in the same thing, you're rooting for him the entire time. Yeah, he's silly. Yeah, he's got a few screws loose.
How about Home Alone with the Polka King? You know, you probably heard of it. And he's with he's talking, you may have heard of the blah, 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 blah. It's, you know, but then, like Corey was saying, you didn't like what's Spade, you know.
So I was not as big of a Chris Farley fan as I was of John Candy. Like, I thought John Candy of the big guy comedians, because that wasn't what he was doing. He was the smartest. He was the most his humor to me was the most intelligent of all those guys. It was.
You don't think that Chris Farley and Tommy Boy? No, I know he's playing stupid lines, but dude, I thought that was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Farley was a genius to me. He see, to me, he acted a lot like from Animal House, Belushi. I thought Farley and Belushi were very similar. If he could have lived long enough to do another Animal House, I felt Farley should have been him.
Well, that was his hero.
The guy that I don't like is Louis Anderson. I don't understand how that guy ever had a career, has a career. Who would find it? Do you find him funny, Dave?
I haven't watched enough of his stuff, not out of dislike. He wasn't anyone I was ever drawn to.
Speaking of Star Search, I think he was a Star Search guy.
Oh, maybe. Well, he was like a host as well. He did a bunch of things in addition to stand-up. I just never really watched much of his stand-up.
Yeah, I never found it. The funniest thing I ever saw him in was at Trading Places, where he's working in McDowell's. And,
I've never seen that in so long. I forgot he was in it.
Someday you could go from, from tomatoes and the lettuce to going to, flipping the patties, I completely, by the way, botched that entire line, but it's in that realm of,
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah. But he isn't funny to me. I'm not appreciative, but Candy, I was very upset when he passed, and certainly she was great. It's just a shame, and it's 71 years old. That's just way too early to die, man.
Yeah,
especially when I'm in my 60s. This mortality thing. You start seeing. It's not too far.
I will though. She always seemed like, and not even like a disrespectful way. I wasn't expecting her to only be 71 because she seems like she was just around for so long. Like I wasn't expecting her to only be.
Creek character made her look like she was older than she was. She played someone. See, I didn't find her to be in her 60s. I thought she was in her 70s there in Schitt's Creek. I felt they made her an older character than she actually was.
I think that was deliberate.
Right? So that's why I think we thought she was older than she is.
Yeah, because her being 11 years older than, like, she could have been like your older sister. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. No, I mean, dead on. She, my parents were certainly old enough to have, I always say my parents were married 14 years before they had me. I could very well have a sister who's 71 years old. I just think
and you're not old, Fran. You're not old.
No.
You're not going anywhere, Fran. Don't worry. You're here. that was but yeah, no, 71 just way too young to do that. The other thing is I forgot what a pretty woman she was.
She was gorgeous. Like especially especially you watch some of those old. Well, yeah, no, she by then, but even you watch some of those
in Home Alone,
and the and the SCTV clips, like she was stunning. She really was.
Well, I think a lot of the comedian ladies sometimes are, Lucille Ball was a model before she was a comedian. She's a beautiful woman. Mickey Glazer's a really attractive looking lady. She's also the meanest woman in the world, and she frightens me.
And weirdly enough, is that why I think she's more attractive? Is there something sick and twisted about that? I don't know. Maybe
not entirely unrelated.
By the way, so we're at the Matterhorn. I'm going to tell you, 20-something-year-old girls who drink too much is the most unattractive.
Wait. Clarify. Who come from privilege and entitlement and money are the most annoying.
They're just dancing with the liquor in their hands, smashing into.
Oh no! It would be fine if the liquor was in their hands, or it would stay in the fucking cup. I mean, the fucking cup. But
dancing into the stage, thinking you could just jump on the stage and take pictures. Like I shouldn't have told you to get the hell from the stage, right? That is
you might think your dress is worth a lot, but my pedal board is worth a lot more. No.
Who do you expect to attend events like that at the Matterhorn?
Well, yeah, no, it's very, but here it was the funny thing. The Boston girls were more obnoxious than the Long Island girls. Go figure. The Long Island girls were actually very sweet. And growing up on Long Island, that frightened.
Wicked surprising.
So that was. It's a very unique. You have the Philadelphia, South Jersey people. You have the entire New England area. You have the specific Hartford County. There's a ton of people from Hartford area that are there. And obviously there's Boston, a lot of people from Boston. There's not, and then there's the local Vermont people that come in, but not a lot. Most of this is the ski crowd coming in there, and they all have a lot of money. They love yacht rock, dad rock. They big time deadheads. And they love
Good
a little
crowd.
country.
Crowd.
It's a great crowd music wise. Like they appreciate what we do. I mean, we are the band for that specific genre of people. That's what we specialize in. And to Charlie's credit, the owner, he realizes we are really good for that. The key is to put the right play, because there's certain areas where we're not the right band. Not at all. And don't put us, I've got to make sure that I do a good job of putting us in places that we could thrive.
Yeah.
Versus in spots that just don't fit.
Dive versus thrive.
Yeah, dive versus thrive. Yeah, hey, we could thrive in a dive. That's no seriously.
No,
right dive, yeah.
Yeah, I know we can.
No, that was what I always loved about Cheap Trick. I know, really random, but like Cheap Trick could give you the same show in your friend's parents' basement as they could give you in Madison Square Garden. They had the energy of, they brought the bar band to Madison Square Garden. They brought it to the stadium. I want you to want me is a rally cry that can span from here to the Budokan in Tokyo, or wherever the Budokan is. I'm really not familiar with my geographics of Japan, but
I know it's Japan. I don't know where in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's on an island.
If my father was alive, he could tell you where. Mr. Japan. Hey, I told you a story. My mom had passed away, and they had tons of points, mileage points left over when she passed. So I said, oh wait, John just wrote something. Here's a great TV clip. Oh
wait, you know what? I will put that into the. Actually, it's in the comments. He put it into the comments.
All right. John was out at NAMM. Unfortunately, we missed him, but we would have had some fun. But next time we'll get together there. But so my dad's like, I couldn't go. I had to work, so he wanted to go to Japan. But then he's like, you know what? Japan's a little tough because he decided. I said, take my sister with you. He's like, yeah, the area is. I can't take her to Japan. It's just a tough area. I'm like, Dad, you were there in 1946. At the end of World War II. Do you really think
you literally saw the shadows on the walls in Hiroshima?
He was
literally
he literally was the first group of people in Japan.
Maybe that's why you turned out as weird as you did.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, him going through, radioactive.
Yeah, no. He's like, yeah, no, Allison, we're not going to go to Japan. It's a little too tough, the areas, And granted, there are parts of Tokyo you don't want to go to. Every city, there's a place you don't want to go to.
The Yakuza is very much a thing.
But this dude, he was there in 1946. Come on. He's
actually, I think one of my favorite stories of my grandfather was him, how he when he got to Japan versus leaving Japan. Yeah. And like I was saying, he saw Japan he saw Hiroshima just after the bomb, when it was, I guess, first safe enough for the trains to start going through there. And he's like, there was one building. He remembered an arch and a building, one building standing. And then on the way back, he's like, I don't know what it is about the Japanese people, but that city had built up in the in what the 18 months he was there.
He wasn't even there that long. Probably there 6 months. I don't know how long.
So, however,
he was only in the army for 18
months. Excuse me, but yeah, for however the 9 months he might have been there, like he's like the city was built again.
Yeah, he was on that special program at the very end of the war. They needed some people to
the occupation.
Yeah,
call it what it is or was.
No. Well, but they needed, so they had a special deal for 18 months, and you still got all the GI Bill and all the benefits. And he was very
got him out of the Bronx.
Well, yeah, crazy person. So I've told the story before. My father skipped 3 grades in school, so
didn't speak English until he was 7 years old.
So he had already really graduated college at 17. But he only went to college because he couldn't get into the army because they wouldn't admit him yet. Because he was born in 1928. So he was, so he got in just as it was really ending. They dropped the bomb and he went over to Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and that area. So yeah, he had a very interesting thing. But no, he was. I've told you many times with it. How do you not understand this in mathematics? Because not everybody's a freak. They can do 7-digit numbers times 5-digit to 7 to the thing. It was insane. How do you not understand this? Because no one does, you freak. But good times. Anyway, Corey, it's late. It's 9:43. We're overtime, and I want to watch my new favorite show, the Chiefs thing with the
Chief of War.
Chief of War with Jason Momoa. It's so good. And they don't even speak English for the first 3 episodes. And it's all subtitles until Jason miraculously in weeks learns English.
So I guess real quick I'll do the with Catherine O'Hara in mind and last night's Grammy Awards. Tonight's album of the week is Joni Mitchell's Court and Spark. When I'm thinking of incredibly talented Canadian women, I have to think of this, and the reissue of the material that was on this album won the Grammy for Best Historical Album last night. Joni Mitchell is a powerhouse. The track listing on here is some of the best of her entire discography, including Free Man in Paris, I think is one of her best songs she ever wrote. Listen to this record. If you want to, you're having a bad day, you're just in a mindset. This record, it's fun. It's whimsical. Everything that made Joni Mitchell as wonderful as she was is all on this record. So I would have to absolutely recommend it. Dave, you've got a not just the regular plug, but you want to plug.
Yeah, so DaveShannockComedy.com is my regular site for my gigs. I have a couple coming up, including Pump House Music Works in South Kingstown, Rhode Island, this Saturday, the 7th. Village Tavern in Salem, Massachusetts, next Saturday, Valentine's Day, and then that Sunday night, the 15th, CT Improv in Hartford, Connecticut. As I mentioned before on the show, I'm also bringing on a branch of a comedy fundraising organization into Connecticut to raise money for whatever cause. So if there's any fundraising that needs to be done, please reach out to me through this link to help. That's an organization that's had their headquarters in Rhode Island. They've been around for almost 12 years, raised over $13 million for all different types of great causes. And I'm hoping to bring that presence to Connecticut to help people raise money for needed funds and causes here.
And again, and in both the Facebook and YouTube link, the actual link itself is there. You can go through there to click and go directly to that. I thought I just turned the timer off for that, but that's okay. That's fine. Trying to think.
Well, as far as your stuff going on, Corey, we're taking a little break. We're going to be back in February, at the end of February, back at the Matterhorn, and that should be kind of cool. We're going to be releasing probably your single soon this month.
More details on that to come.
And we're going to be putting stuff together. There's going to be a bunch of solo shows, and I'm sure we'll have some band. But we try to literally take February break. January was a real hectic month. Like
usually it's January I kind of take light because there's so much stuff going on, and then February pack, and I'm like, I'm 30 now. At this point, know what? It's hitting different. It really is hitting different. Like, the fact I'm up right now, my chest is in pain. My throat hurts. My head is pounding.
It's tough. He did when you do 3 shows in a period of 24 hours.
In the dryness of up north.
And it was cold. And coming from California, because, we talk about that NAMM show, Corey probably did 7 to 10 shows in a period of 3 to 4 days. He worked all those booths, and it's a ton of walking around and
talking to people. You know what? It's a lot of talk. When you're doing the job of both being an endorsed artist, you're being a salesperson yourself, and just a regular civilian trying to do research, you end up talking, walking, doing all this stuff all day. Like, I've been pretty good. I've been working out. I've been trying to get myself healthier, and I think I'm doing a damn good job considering where I was. I didn't have to work out those days.
It was a lot of walking, dude. It was.
My calves look so good right now.
That's a flex.
Yeah.
And I can flex them. That's the best part.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But Jen, you ended up playing a lot more gigs than you thought you were going to. Jen, everybody just kept giving him a call. Hey, can you play this night? Can you play that night? And all of a sudden, what seemed to be not what wasn't supposed to be was. How many nights did we spend in hotels in January? I think probably 20 out of 31 days we were in a hotel room.
Wow.
So
yeah.
I mean, seriously, between the Boston and Boston, Vermont,
New Year's,
Mystic, we were in and obviously Newport Beach, California, Anaheim.
Oh no, Newport Beach. Oh.
By the way, I never really spent any time in Newport Beach before. I could spend a lot more time in Newport Beach. That's a cool place. Actually, it's not cool. It's perfect. It's just perfect. Food is the only place in all of by the way, California food sucks. Anaheim is one of the worst places in the world to eat. I'm just going to tell you, it's terrible. But then you go to Newport Beach. By the way, one of the greatest statues I've ever seen on someone's lawn.
This is wild. Yeah, random. And it's like not like a prominently placed there. It's like covered in things, and then all of a sudden, Ronnie's just popping out of the bushes. It's like
it's hysterical. Ronnie,
what's going on here?
And then they had a teddy bear house.
The teddy bear house was kind of neat.
These are like $6 million, $10 million homes. Which are tiny homes, but right on the water.
And by the way, you can look right into them. All these people have these giant windows. You're looking at. I finished watching the Pats win the other night through somebody's window, because God knows the TVs are the size of the wall in my bedroom in some of these homes.
But and we went whale watching, and we saw a whale.
Nice.
It was so cool. That was like
really
outrageously cool.
It was
really good times. So my friends Mitch and Carol out there. I ran into so many fun people. Spend time with Dave Black and Robin. It was as good a time as I could expect. We picked up lines like the PV line when we're out there. We just got SE to go direct right now. We're going to get Cloud on board direct instead of going through distributorships. We got to get a hold of the pick company tomorrow, the custom pick company. We did so much. Like I said, I missed a whole bunch of places that I would have liked to have spent time in because we were doing a lot of business out there. And we were having fun. It's a good time. And unfortunately, Brendan Donahue couldn't come with us. Brendan last minute had to cancel out because his mom wasn't feeling well. So I had already committed to another hotel room. So Cliff jumped in, took Brendan's spot, and then I was like, well, Corey, get out of my room. You're spending you with Cliff. So
I was really upset about getting to spend the weekend with my friend. Oh no.
So Lisa and I actually got to be by ourselves, which is great. And Cliff and Corey gallivanted where they wanted. We went when we wanted. And, you know, I think I spent more time with Karen than I did with you.
Well, then Karen, Cliff, and I, we were a team for the end of the trip. That was the fun little spin-off adventure.
Yes. Mama Karen.
Yes, my California fiance.
Yes.
And I guess if I could, and just one last thing on the final point, with Catherine O'Hara, I've watched a few times the eulogy she gave at John Candy's funeral, and there's a quote in it that stuck out that I just wanted to read about what she said about him. He was bright and quick and graceful and full of ideas, funny ideas, but he always had room for you and his ideas too. If you threw John anything, he would grab it, run with it, play with it, sparkle with it, toss it back to you, and give that sparkle too. Well, Catherine O'Hara, I have to say, I think you might have been talking a little bit about yourself as well, because you know what? You made the world sparkle just a little bit more. You gave people a reason to laugh, a reason to escape from the world for a bit. And we are so much better in this world having known that you lived in it.
And on that note, we'll see you next month.